live soon. To sponsor a show or advertise, call or WhatsApp 0763 593 288. Melo Media. Melo Media. Melo Media. Stay tuned as we will be going live soon. To sponsor a show or advertise, call or WhatsApp 0763 593 288. Melo Media. Melo Media. Melo Media.
Hi everyone, I'm the Ghost. Welcome to Melo Motor Show. Today in this episode, we're going to talk about how to make your car go fast. Of course, not too fast that you kill yourself, but faster just to give you an edge over the other car. Okay, sometimes you just want, when you are taking off, you want to feel the zoom. So how to do that is what we are discussing today. Last time, remember, we talked about safety first, and we talked of various ways how you can make your car very safe for the roads, yourself, and the other roads users. So make sure that you follow all those safety tips that we talked about. Today, we are going to discuss how to make your car go a little bit faster. And if you want it very fast, of course, there are deeper ways that you can go and make your car to be very fast. Now, there, we are talking about drag racing on the track, not on the streets, because it would be very dangerous for you. Okay, the first thing that we are going to talk about is your air intake. Okay, so the way the car is designed, the air intake, the original air intake is usually made out of paper. And since it's made out of paper, an example I'll give you is this, okay? This is a paper air intake. And these, the way they are made is because they have to accommodate to muffle up certain sounds that are coming from the engine, so it has to be thick, the way it's been designed. And with this, it brings about some restrictions in the way air is going to flow into the engine. So what you need, because basically an engine is an air pump, so you need it to pump as much air as it needs, and then it will give you more horsepower. Then you need to take care of the air intake. Then we are going to talk about something which gives the car an easy way to breathe, is a cone filter. So if you're going to talk about a cone filter, you have to change. Now, it's not every vehicle that can accommodate a cone filter. You have to look at the way your vehicle has been designed. They will have to remove this so that you can put a cone filter. A cone filter has got an advantage because now it's not made out of paper. It's made out of mesh wire and some other material inside that help the air to move in quickly. So you're going to find most cars, race cars, you're going to find actually are using a cone filter because they want to take in as much air as possible. Now, of course, there's a drawback on these things. Most people don't get good quality. They get poor quality, and poor quality, the material inside that is supposed to help with filtering the air, they get damaged and they'll go. So it will start allowing in a lot of dust. Most cars actually that I've seen that have got a cone filter, when you open, you're going to find there's a lot of dust in the intake stream, which means the cone filter needs to be replaced, because some people take it, this is for life. No, it's not for life. You need to change once in a while. You replace this, okay? Otherwise, you cause more damage to your engine than the power that you are talking about. Because if you let in dust go in the engine, you know what you're talking about. Next, you're going to be complaining about your piston rings and so forth, okay? So you have to look at the advantages. Get a good cone filter, then you're going to have an engine that breathes oil, and hence you're going to have power. You're going to add some power. Okay, talking about breathing, we are also going to talk about the exhaust system. Now, if you breathe in nicely, you also need to breathe out nicely. So there is no point in the car breathing in nicely and fail to breathe out nicely. So your exhaust also, you can talk about the downpipe. If you put a bigger downpipe, which means the car is going to breathe easily. It won't have a lot of, don't need a lot of energy to push out the exhaust gases. They will flow easily. In line with that, also talking about the exhaust, when you sort out the downpipe, you can also talk about sorting out your muffler at the back, what is commonly known as a back box delete. You can remove the original back box and put a sporty one, which allows the vehicle to breathe. Of course, there has to be a trade-off. Some guys put annoying back boxes that scream and make noise wherever they are. You need also to think about the other person. Don't just go on the road, you are making noise for yourself and others. You feel good, but it might be irritating to somebody else. So make sure your car is not too loud. Okay, just have a trade-off so that you do not annoy other people because your car is too loud. Because when you remove the muffler, and the job of the muffler is to muffle the sound. So when you remove the muffler, make sure when you're put something which is original, something which is good, which is going to produce a good sound and help your car to increase a bit of some power. Okay, next, what we're going to talk about, we can look at, take for instance, a car. You know, since it's an air pump, the bore size is going to matter. Now, a car, a piston, has to travel up and down. And in that cylinder, it's traveling up and down, it's measured by stroke and also by bore, which means how wide the bore is. So the wider the bore, which means the bigger, basically, in simple terms, the bigger the engine. That's why you talk about 1.3, 1.6, 1.8, 2 liter, 2.5, and so forth. The number of pistons go on, the bore sizes go on, and with the larger bore, you find the more power that you're going to produce. Okay, so you can increase the bore of your piston. If you had smaller piston, you can increase. Of course, it's all dependent on the engine design. Some engines you cannot go to a certain bore width. You cannot increase the bore to a certain level, so you are limited. So this depends on the type of an engine that you have. So if you increase your bore, you are ultimately going to increase the power. Why? Because the more air you're going to take in and the more fuel you can add. That then also you're going to talk about your fuel delivery system. You need to improve your fuel delivery system because there's no need of, there'll be no point in getting so much air inside the engine and yet the fuel is also not being complementing, it's not complementing the air that you're taking in. So you need, the more air you take, also the fuel to match with the air, then you're going to make the power. The next thing that we can talk about, which is more a little bit advanced, because now we are going to talk about engine transplant. If you cannot increase the bore, you might as well just get an engine which is already big or which is already customized and so forth to put in your vehicle. Once you do that, you're going to find that you're going to increase power. Because take for instance, if you had a 1.3 liter engine in your vehicle and then you put in a 2 liter, ultimately you're going to feel the big difference. I did that. I remember I was driving a 1.8 City Golf and then I put in a 2 liter. The difference was huge. I could feel that the way the car was moving now, it was making me feel nice. Okay, so you can do an engine transplant to move from a less powerful engine to a more powerful engine. I've seen guys do serious engine transplants where they even put, like, I can talk about Guy Jack has put in a V8 in an Audi A4, which had a 2 liter engine. Then he's put in a V8 there, and you should feel how this car is moving. But of course, he has to take care of all the safety measures so that he does not bridge the gap of bypass the bridge which the manufacturer has put for the safety and the power that that body can take. So you can do an engine transplant so that you can achieve more power. In talking about power, you know that power and weight, these are things that need to complement each other. You can have a very powerful engine, but a very heavy vehicle. There's nothing you're going to do. It's as good as having a very powerful man, but carrying a very heavy luggage. It's very difficult for such a person to win the race. But if you're powerful and you're light, it's very easy to move. So the same thing applies. The same science applies also to vehicles. The lighter your vehicle, the faster it can go, which means you need to do away with things that have got nothing to do with, one, safety, and second, with power. If they've got nothing to do with those things, then you might as well leave them so that you can concentrate on safety, number one, and then power. That's why you're going to see most rally cars. I used to wonder, you go inside the rally car, you find there's no carpet, there are no other seats apart from the driver and the navigator. only those seats, and then you wonder, why do they do this? But the guys are trying to reduce as much weight as possible. The lighter the vehicle, the more advantage you are going to have, because it will move faster. You can have a vehicle which is producing a very good horsepower, but it's light, compared to a vehicle with less horsepower but lighter. You're going to find that the lighter vehicle will move faster, because it does not require a lot of energy to move that weight. Just a little energy, and then the vehicle is gone. A good example actually is the bikes. You've seen how these bikes actually go on the street, because you find the biggest bike probably you're going to have is here that I've seen, like a CBR, which is the 1000 cc's. That is 1 liter. But you see how this thing can fly compared to a car or a Vitz, which is also 1 liter. Okay, same engine power, but you find the other one, because the whole science is on the weight. The bike is less weight than, has less weight than the Vitz, which could have the same type of an engine, I mean, in liters. Okay, so weight has got everything to do with also how you're going to move and reach that 0 to 100, okay, mark. We are going to talk about the next thing, which most people would love to do, especially if you are driving vehicles that are computerized. We're going to talk about chipping, okay? Now, when we are talking about chipping, we are looking at one. These are ECUs, original ECUs, that you cannot get in, okay, and reprogram or put another software. So the best that one can do is to remove a chip, buy a chip which was already tuned, and then solder it on the motherboard of the ECU. That is going to achieve you some power. With everything stock, just by doing that, you find you increase your horsepower on the vehicle. Because originally, the way these ECUs are designed, they have got limiters in them, okay? So once you chip, you're going to remove certain limiters. Of course, when you are doing that, again, I'm going to emphasize, do not compromise your safety. There are people who would want to remove all the limiters, even all those that have got to do with the safety, because all their interest is just to go fast. But when you are looking at these road vehicles that we are using, please stick to safety limits and make sure that you do not tamper with the safety features of the vehicle. Now, when you're talking about ECUs, you're going to find actually the ECUs that come, I think, from 2000 coming up here, they are more easy, depending also on the manufacturer, easy to tune, because we've got specialists actually that can plug into the OBD2 and then tune the vehicle and give you about 20 to 25, 30 horsepower increase on stock ECUs. But if you want something more, then you can go also to aftermarket ECU. Now, aftermarket ECUs, their concentration is just to give you the power to the engine, and it won't look at all other systems. It would not control any other system, but just the engine. And that's a goal for that ECU. And those ECUs, you're going to find them mostly in vehicles that are just concentrated on racing. These are not daily driven vehicles, which are programmed hardcore like that, just for racing, drag racing, maybe rally, and so forth. So if you want some serious power, then you can go that way, because these ECUs have got, what is going to limit them actually is how you're going to program them, and also the engine, because they will push your engine to the limit. Now, most people don't know how to manage this, especially here where we are in Zambia, because we do not have a dyno. So it's very difficult to look at the numbers that you're achieving on that. So if you're fortunate, it would be very important to look at those numbers so that you know you are not crossing the limit of your engine, because those things will push your engine, and sometimes you end up damaging your engine because you don't know that you are passing the mark of the safety margins of your engine, because it won't limit any revs. If you put 10,000 revs, it will want to push the engine to 10,000 revs, okay? So pay out for that. ECUs, we have also, when we're talking about ECUs, I can give an example of the ECUs that we have also now. These are tuners that we have abroad there. If your ECU, if you've got these are old ECUs, this is a stock ECU, for example. Now, with some certain stock ECUs, there are tuners out there, okay, who can, like, this is a tuning software for Elevate tuners from the United States. So these guys, what they do, you find they will get the basic information. You give information about your vehicle, and then they will program. They have already tuned softwares which they will program and then send you this tuning OBD2 connector, which basically you can plug on your vehicle, and then you scroll, you go to the software you want. Sometimes it can carry more than one software. So usually, like this one has got two. There's a stock software if you want to roll back to the stock, or the tune, stage one tune. Then you can go depending on the level of tune that you want. So they can send you something like this where you plug in. If you want to drive in a certain way, you plug in and choose the program, and the program will be on your computer, and your car will behave in a certain way. When you want it to behave stock, you connect, put in the stock, then it will change. So depending on the type of an ECU, you can have this easy way of tuning. And of course, there are certain stock computer boxes that actually we have specialists. Like here at Autocraft Tuning, we've got a specialist who's going to feature one of these days on our programs, who is actually able to go in the ECU. Okay, when he goes into an ECU, he can actually refresh, he can clone the ECUs or add more power on the stock ECUs, and that will give you some leverage over other vehicles. So if you want such a tune to be done, you can always call us and see us, and we'll be able to do such tunes for you, for your car, to give it a little bit of some power. Okay, so today we are going to end on these 5 ways of how to make your car go fast. Next time we are going to talk about the other 5. Now that's when we'll go into other details just to give you that drive. But remember, even as you want power, stay safe. See you next time.